Yo, what's the deal, fam? It's your man Ease out here again on this walk. Hope you all are doing well today. What we talking about? Let's continue yesterday's conversation, then we'll go on to some other things. Spoke about Primo and Nas album, and I was saying how it's a win-win situation for Nas because he's rapping at an elite level, and he gets to check off a box because people can't really say that he picks bad beats if he's working solely with their favorite producer, right? So it's a win-win, checks off a box, historic event, should be, he's still at the top of his game, and he's working with Primo. Well, here's my question I have. Hey, good morning, how you doing? This is the question I have concerning all the Golden Era fans. What is it about HitBoy's production that you completely dislike? It's not everyone, but we're gonna have a discussion, right? Because even if you do appreciate it, it may be some things that you feel were lacking in that 6-album run and you didn't like it. And instead of, having a platform to voice it in a mature way, you just lashed out because you wanted a Pete Rock or a Primo album solely with Nas. So let me know, was it his sampling? Did you feel as though he skipped the line and he didn't deserve that opportunity? Was it the fact that you felt his drums were a little light? Was it the mixing? Was it the fact that he was, on paper, pretty much a West Coast producer, right? And you wanted Nas to work solely with an East Coast producer? These are questions that I have because I'm always surprised by how many people are willing to totally disregard that run solely because the partnership didn't include a producer they deemed to be worthy. Now let's go back to a question I asked. Were the drums too light? That's valid, right? In comparison to running your drums through, I don't know, analog or Neve or SSL or outboard gear compressor, many different things that they did in the Golden Era, right? But a lot of you will jump out the window and totally make excuses for Primo and saying nothing has changed and his sound is pretty good. But when you A and B it, the sound is totally different than what it was. If you were to A and B Primo's work from like the last 3 years to HitBoy's production on Nas projects, the drums aren't really that different as far as the slap goes. We gotta be honest about certain things. So the question is, I need to know, because I find it ironic that we love a particular artist and they give you some heat and you just comb through it looking for anything and everything that you don't like. And when you ask to express what you don't like, you can't tell anyone. And when you do tell someone, when they give you some empirical evidence of your favorite producers slightly having the same sonics presently, you're willing to disregard that. So that's the drum take. Let's talk about sample choices. I think HitBoy's a student of the game. I would have a hard time believing that he didn't speak to Primo or those who've come before him and learn quite a bit. Hey, he's from the Kanye school of production as well too, right? They may not have had the greatest relationship, but he was in the studio with Ye and he learned quite a few things. So we have a student of the game, we have an icon in the game, come together, drop 6 albums, and it's met with resistance. So we gotta keep this in mind. If Nas and Primo album drops and it's met with resistance from HitBoy fans, y'all can't cry about that. You can't cry about it because a lot of you not giving legitimate reasons as to why you didn't like his work outside of it was HitBoy. He checked all boxes, especially on Magic 3. Son was going off. I even did a video about that, how he was channeling Primo, Pete Rock, Ninth Wonder, host of different production, Havoc, while incorporating his own style. Japanese soul bar, how could you front on that? I just need to know what's up. Let me know. I know there's a lot of space in between this conversation. It's for you to think and ponder. Because there should be some legitimate reasons why. We can't just dislike things for no apparent reason, right? I don't think there's any maturity in that. And I want to know. This place here is a safe place for hip-hop heads. Discourse. Clean conversations. And I want to know, what is it about HitBoy that turns you completely off with regards to both he and Nas's collaborations, from the KD series to the Magic series? Was it the drums? Was it the way he chopped? Was it the fact that he was from the West Coast? Was it merely the fact that you felt like he was undeserving? Whatever it is, let me know. In the year of 2025, what exactly does a De La Soul album sound like, in your opinion? You know, Master Pill has them on the lineup, the roster for the legendary rollout. And I want to know. I love De La. Their approach, their creativity, my goodness. And the fact that they were kind of like a more melodic production style. Just hear me out. With Prince Paul, kind of like a more melodic Bomb Squad, in the sense that how they were taking so many different samples, man, and just making it make sense. But as you know, they have an album coming out on Master Pill, and I want to know, as a fan, what are you looking for? What type of features would you want them to collaborate with their usual suspects? Talib, Common, tap into that bag. Is there anyone out there who's a spitter that you would love to see them collaborate with? Obviously, you want Nas on the album, but I would love to hear De La and AZ collaboration too. That'd be fire. What about producers? Should they keep it in-house? Plug, Maceo? Or should they, I don't know, holler at Ma Dukes and see if Dilla got any more exclusive Dilla tracks in the vault? Should they reach out to, I don't know, someone like a Havoc? Would you like to see them work with, I don't know, someone like a Robert Glasper? Would you like to see them work with a Terrence Martin, Pete Rock? What does that look like? What does it sound like? These are all things that we have to look forward to. It's exciting, right? De La Soul, hip-hop royalty, been through so much, especially when we're talking about paperwork and record deals and some of the hurdles they had to deal with and really get out on the road and pound the pavement and provide for their families. I really want this album to be a huge success for them. In addition to the tragedy that they faced the last, year and a half, 2 years, Trugoy the Dove passing away. So Long Island's very own, De La Soul. But as a fan, what does that look like in your estimation? And please don't get in the comments talking about I'm accepting whatever they do because I'm just a fan. That's cool in theory, but come on, it's okay to have a wish list in life, right? It's okay to want certain producers to link up with certain artists or have collaborations. You know, who would you like to hear them singing on a hook, have singing on the chorus or a hook? Because one thing about them, those are some melodic brothers, man. They are their musical knowledge and their ear is elite. I would love to possibly hear, I would like to hear De La Soul and Brandy. I think that would be a nice little mashup right there. I mentioned producers too. Bring Prince Paul back too. I'm not saying you got to do the whole album, but if we're going to do a legendary run, right? And that's what this whole rollout is about with Master Pill. Bring everyone together. That's just what I think. But I'm out here walking. Those are the things that are on my mind this morning. Why do people disregard or dislike HitBoy and Nas music? But very few give a reason why. And if you could play A&R for a day, what does the De La Soul project look like that's being What does it sound like, excuse me? Or even the visuals, what does it look like? That's being released on Master Pill Records. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to Nas, HitBoy, DJ Premier, Master Pill, De La Soul, Maceo, Plug, R.I.P. to Trugoy the Dove, and salute the hip hop. Make sure y'all get some movement today, man. Movement is medicine. Clear your mind. Hope you and your families are doing well. It's your man Ease at the Ease Experience. As always, go get your shit.
Hey yo,